Keaton Dadigan. Today's top story is about the Stamped Act. And now we go to Andrea and Daisy questioning the colonists.
Thank you, Keaton.
We are here today questioning one of the many colonists that have to deal with the Stamp Act.
Hello, colonist. What's your name?
Mary.
Oh, Mary. Very nice.
Mary, how do you feel about getting first direct tax that requires everyone to have a legal document that has a stamp on it to show the proof of payment?
I was outraged by this passage. I was one of the many who asserted our local assemblies had a power to tax us directly, since they are not representing in Parliament.
Thank you for your input on the Stamp Act.
Back to you, Keaton.
We now have Andrea talking to fellow patriots about the recent Sugar Act.
Thank you, Keaton. The recent Sugar Act has had fellow patriots very mad. The British claim they have just passed the tax so that they can have more money for protection for the colonies. The British want the colonies to sell their goods only to Britain. I'm here with sisters Jane and Beth. How do you girls feel about the recent Sugar Act?
The act is horrible. Why, just recently I tried to buy sugar, and I paid so much for it.
Yeah, I agree. Why should we be taxed by a king an ocean away?
And there you have it, folks. For more info, check out our brand new column in the Boston Gazette. Now back to you, Keaton.
We have Sabrina in the field in Boston. Sabrina?
Thank you, Keaton. When did the British pass the Townshend Act?
1767.
Why did they pass it?
To keep the British from going broke.
How did you feel about this new act?
I feel outraged. Why would you feel you were being taxed every which way?
Is it true you responded with boycott?
Yes,
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
it was our pleasure.
You heard it first here, folks. An outrage on taxing, just because the king needed to pay off his debts. Thank you, and back to you, Keaton.
Thank you, ladies. That was spot on.
I'm Ronald Weasley. And I'm Seamus Finnegan. We are reporting to you live from Boston, where an angry mob of colonists has taken action against the British, who they have barely lost their jobs to. After 3 days of unrest, the mob has decided to try to get their voices heard against the 8 redcoats, who have orders not to fire at the group of unarmed men. Oh, what is this? A 17-year-old wig maker's apprentice, Edward Garrick, has approached step closer to the British soldiers. Die! Back, I say back! One of the British lobster backs has struck him in the face with the butt of his rifle. Private Hugh Montgomery was just hit by a club. My gosh, the private just shot at the group of unarmed men. We've just received news that the victim was Edward Garrick. They're now moving his body now. You heard it from us first, folks. The British tyrants have poisoned weapons and dared to shoot at a group of unarmed men. Crippus Atticus has just been confirmed dead. Oh my God! The group is retreating as the British continue to fire. The smoke has finally begun to clear. 3 more are dead. How will Boston react? For the evening news, I'm Seamus Finnegan. And I'm Ronald Weasley. Remember to stay beautiful, American colonies. Back to you, Keaton.
Hello, this is Jack Bacon. Our top story, the Tea Act has officially fallen into place approximately 1 week ago, and with this, a huge offensive against the British. These ruthless purebreds put this act into place so they could profit from all of our trade for themselves. My thoughts are that since the Townshend Acts went into place and the attack on the tea, most of our glorious colonists have boycotted joining this tea attack, causing the British to charge us with taxes and close Boston Harbor. Let's go ahead and speak to a few colonists about these issues. Hello, Samuel.
Hello, good sir.
So how do you feel about these dirty Brits taxing us without our permission?
I think the British got what was coming, because none of us patriots are going to pay taxes, because it makes them think they are free to tax us.
Interesting. It seems as though they feel that they are on top of the world. How do you think this tea attack will affect the thoughts of the patriots?
I believe with this act of rebellion, we may finally earn our freedom. But I also fear that we have started a war that will be finished, but not by the patriots.
What a devastating truth. But we all hope that those dirty lobsterbacks get what's coming. And thank you, Sam.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
You too. We have Mr. John Gill to speak with us next.
Hello, Mr. Begulin, and thank you for speaking.
The pleasure is all mine. Now I hear you are a member of the Sons of Liberty and that you helped with the Boston tea attack. Is this true?
Yes, I play somewhat of an important role. I write important truths about those horrible Brits in the Boston Gazette to use all the colonists as some sort of pawns for the Sons of Liberty.
Well, in my opinion, you're probably just as influential as the leader of your group.
I would think so.
So what do you think will be the British next move?
I think that the British next move will be to look for and take out the rebellions to snuff out our last chance of liberty.
I definitely agree, and thank you for your answers, and have a nice day.
You too.
So there you have it. The dirty British are going to tax, attack, and keep us on a tight leash. So if you want to make a difference, sign up for your local militia today. That's all for now. Stay classy, Boston.
And now we go to Dale, who's live on the scene on the First Continental Congress. Here's Dale.
Thank you, Keaton. We are live at Continental Congress. The meeting is over, so here is some background information on the situation so far. Since the tyrant King George III is taking away our freedom with these taxes, 56 delegates from all 13 colonies have come to give America a voice against taxes Parliament recently passed. Congress has been thinking of ways to stop these acts without starting a war, but that doesn't seem so likely right now. So we have Patrick Henry here from the Congress to tell us exactly what they have concluded in this situation. Hello, Mr. Henry. Thank you for coming.
Oh, it was all my pleasure to come. I didn't just want to come. I had to come so all Americans can know what is going on right now and how are we going to stop King George's unnecessary acts that do apply to all of us.
First question, Mr. Henry. What conclusions has Congress come to stop the 13 taxes Parliament recently passed peacefully?
This question has been ringing in our ears since the second we started this Congress. Many delegates like John Adams wanted to stop these taxes, but in a peaceful manner. I think, for one, we need to fight back with force. But not everyone agreed with me, so we also discussed during it without starting a war. What we thought was a long list of grievances on how these taxes need to be repealed immediately because they are violating our freedom and rights. We were all going to personally send this legitimate letter straight to King George for reading. In my opinion, I don't think he'll even open it.
If you're right and he didn't even open it, what would happen then?
What would happen then would be serious boycotting of all British goods. We wouldn't use paper, tea, glass, or anything for that matter. We would put in a full boycott to everything he has and hasn't taxed us on. Soon we might even start taxing us on breathing and sleeping. If all of us Americans don't work together to stop him, then what is the point of trying?
Mr. Henry, does Congress have a plan for us if boycotting has no results either, like everything else?
You bet we do, and this is what I think we should have been our first plan. So Congress, for some time now, if you didn't know, has been asking every city and town for help. We've been asking anyone who can hold a gun to join us to form a militia against British if all else fails. Even if you have no experience under your belt, we'll still let you join. Guns and other supplies like food are being provided with money and from any Americans who can help without those who are pitching in even the smallest cent. I salute you. For without you, we would have no defense, and that means that we wouldn't have even a chance to win the war.
I figured as much as war. But if freedom's on the line, then we'll just have to toughen up. So finally, for my final question for the interview, who will be in charge of the militia as general?
That has been covered as well as our meeting. We voted to choose General Washington as our pick really is for many good reasons. First of all is because of how much experience he has on the battlefield, which has been over 20 years from the French and Indian War. Secondly, he fought alongside the British at one point. That may sound bad, but that means he knows how the Redcoats move, attack, reload, and even retreat. With this knowledge, and making plans in the war can be much more effective when attacking or defending. My final reason is because of how well respected he is. If no man respects him, then no one will listen to him. But since everyone respects him, everyone will be honored to listen to his orders, or even die for him. Well, thank you for the interview. I hope you help us with the fight.
Well, America, there's a chance a war is coming and your freedom's on the line. So help out by applying for the militia or just by donating money for supplies. Dale Riley at the Continental Congress, back to you.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you, Keaton. As mentioned earlier, there are 700 ferocious redcoats and 75 Minutemen in Lexington. There's very much tension between the two groups, and it's unclear if they will engage in battle at this time. It seems that battle has just erupted between the Minutemen and the redcoats. I'm also getting a report from the newsroom that the redcoats were the first to fire. I'm also getting a report that the first shot fired was a shot heard around the world. It appears already that about 5 or 6 of our courageous Minutemen have died from the rain of bullets coming from the bloodthirsty redcoats. Our Minutemen are having a hard time with the brutal tactics of the ruthless redcoats. It looks as if now 8 of our Minutemen have been killed and 10 injured by the murderous redcoats. Fighting between them seems to have stopped. Back to you, Keaton.
Thank you, Kiana. We just got a report of redcoats being spotted in Concord, doing suspicious activity. We have Samantha on the seat in Concord, witnessing this happen. Samantha?
On May 10th, a convention of delegates of the 13 colonies known as the Second Continental Congress met in Philadelphia. This group succeeded the First Continental Congress after the American Revolutionary War began. The Second Continental Congress is managing the colonial war effort. This is moving in increments toward this country's independence.
On July 4, 1776, the representatives of the United States of America assembled and declared independence from England. In this historic declaration, Thomas Jefferson told why the colonies were forming a new nation. Thomas Jefferson drew ideas from Enlightenment thinker John Locke. The Declaration of Independence has 4 major sections. The first major section is the preamble, or the intro. The next 2 sections consist of complaints towards Britain, as well as the rights the colonists feel they should have. The last section proclaims the existence of a new nation. Some of the patriots that signed this declaration were Thomas Jefferson at age 33, John Hancock at age 39, Benjamin Franklin at age 70, Samuel Adams at age 54, and John Adams at age 41. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Cole. We're here in beautiful Boston. We now got to talk to the bell. How are you? We now have a live unknown interview with an unknown interviewer. Live
with NBC News.
It's cops. Hey, get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Fallen into place. Approximately 1 week ago, with this huge all for themselves. My thoughts are that since the Townsend Acts went into place and the attack on the T, Muslim Townsend Acts went into place and the attack on the T, Muslim glorious God is God.
Dude, why are you laughing? Dude.
Hello, Samuel.
Hello, good sir.
So how do you feel about those dirty Brits taxing us over tea without our permission?
I think that...
So there you have it. Did you just stop?
Dude!
Okay, she can edit that out. Okay.
Okay, we're still recording.
Oh,
Go.
okay.
Okay. Set.
Wait, hold on.
Ready. Dude, he stole like 50. I took like 3.
Dude! What the heck? I didn't steal freaking 50.
Dude, what's in your mouth? Open your mouth. I want to see how many you took.
I took 4.
I
took
brought him
4.
for everybody, and you have to take.
I took 4, dude.
And I took 1.
Yeah.
I took 1.
Videotaping.
So don't get pissed at me.
Go back to your spots. You can leave him. I won't have him there. You just stand in this one.
He doesn't have to go.
So you still eat it?
Oh, we're recording right now, Adam.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Throwing millions of dollars of tea over the side of the boat. I brought my tea too, guys.
No, so
The British next move.
I think Britain's next move will be to look for and take out any.
Any of the